Hi, I'm Dr. Lindsay, and I have been seeing Reba for 3 sessions now, and I am doing psychoanalysis with her, and she has been displaying a lot of symptoms that come from the DSM. Paranoid personality disorder, which is stated and says, suspects without sufficient basis that others are exploiting, harming, or deceiving him or her. That she definitely is displaying. She's preoccupied with unjustified doubts about the loyalty of trustworthiness of friends or associates, which both of those, her coworker, her best friend, and her husband. She has recurrent suspicions with justification regarding fidelity of spouse or sexual partner, and she definitely is holding some grudges. So we have been discussing those things, and will continue to discuss how her childhood has affected her and her thoughts and behaviors today. Reba, it is nice to have you here today. Last session was our first session, and you were explaining to me you believe that your husband was cheating on you, and you were telling me your feelings of just anger and sadness, and I was wondering if you could tell me today about how those feelings were and what you were experiencing from our last session that you expressed. How are you feeling today?
Well, I guess I can start. Since last time we talked, Mick has come home from work, and he's usually, really neat and tidy. His clothes are really pressed well, and his shirt was completely wrinkly. And I know he's just cheating on me. It's a sign. Like, I can't. He thinks I'm stupid, but I know he's cheating on me, and I know it's with that bitch Cheryl. I know it is. She's been jealous of me since I can remember. This is because I had a boyfriend in middle school, and she liked him, and this is revenge. I can see it. She rubs it in my face. She smiles at me when she sees me, but I know she is sleeping with my husband. There is just no doubt in my mind.
So tell me a little bit about that jealousy. Why do you believe she was jealous?
Cheryl was the ugly duckling when we were younger. I guess I hit puberty before her, and all the boys were attracted to me. All the boys wanted to hang out with me and date me ever since I can remember, and she was just jealous of me. Even when we went into high school, nobody wanted to hang out with her, and I did, but none of the guys ever paid attention to her, and I know now that she's just using that against me. She's just rubbing it in my face that nobody liked her. I can remember this time where we went to prom, and I had my date, and nobody went with her, and she was sitting in the back by herself, and I could tell that she was just looking at me, and she was just plotting something against me. I know she's doing this now because of then. She's just being spiteful. She's always hated me. I never had anything against her, and she's always had something out against me. I've always tried to be nice to her, always tried to look out for her, and she does nothing but stab me in the back and sleeps with my husband, and now she's just ruining my life. There is nothing that I have done that has put me in this situation except for her. This is her fault.
Tell me about your relationship with her as a young child. You said in the first session that y'all had been friends since early childhood. Tell me a little bit about your childhood with her.
Well, Cheryl moved in across the street from me when I was about 7 or 8, and because I was the only child, she was the only friend I had on the block, so naturally we gravitated towards each other. She was, I guess, shy in a sense, and I was more, I guess, outgoing. I wanted to be friends with everybody, and she didn't. She was more reserved, and I guess I kind of blame her for holding me back when I was a younger child into my middle school years, because she didn't have any friends and I was her only friend. So I couldn't be outgoing, and I mean, I just had to sit back with her, and I don't know, she just made my childhood, every time I look back on my childhood with her, it just is miserable memories. And as we grew older and now, so I guess we have a sort of love-hate relationship, if you could say. I would say I'm more attached to her because she is attached to me and we've known each other for so long.
So it's more of a comfort thing. You feel comfortable with her. And because you've known her and you're familiar with her, then that makes you feel safe.
Oh yeah, when I was growing up and my grandfather died, Cheryl was my best friend. She was always there. I can vividly remember crying on her shoulders and, just her always being there for me.
So you said that you felt like she was consistent. Is that something that you had in your childhood or something that you were more lacking?
My dad was a alcoholic, and my mom was the sweetest lady you could ever imagine. And there are times that I could remember when, my dad would drink and my mom would be so scared for us, hiding behind the couch. And I have good memories of my childhood, but I would say a majority of them are terrible, I guess in a word, scary memories that I've had. I remember my dad coming home one night after he went to the bar, and he was so angry because he lost this game of pool. And I mean, it's not anybody's fault, like, you lost a game of pool. I'm sorry, you obviously were drinking too much at the bar, and you lose a game of pool, like, it's a big deal. You can't win everything, and like, you come home and you just are screaming and yelling and throwing things on the ground. And then like, he hit my mom and punched her in the face, and I was so scared, and I ran up to my room and I was crying and I was hiding under my bed. And I just get so angry when I think about those times. Like, I was so scared.
How old were you?
I was 5 years old.
You were 5. Is that the first experience you can remember?
No, it's not. I remember, I don't know, I must have been 3 or 4, and I was in the car with my dad, and I remember he got angry at one of the drivers in front of us, and I remember being so scared because he was so angry and he was so loud, and I wanted it to stop so badly, but like, he just kept yelling and yelling and yelling, and I just remember being so scared. I was crying. I wanted my mom. I wanted to go home, and I felt like it was never ending.
How was your relationship with your mother?
My mom is the nicest, sweetest, kindest lady you could ever meet in your entire life. I feel like if there was an ideal mother, she would be it. She would wait for us at the bus stop after school. She would cook meals every night. She was so loving. She let us be who we wanted to be. She was just great. There's nothing bad I could ever say about her, ever.
How do you feel towards your father today?
I mean, our relationship is that we talk, and I care about him and I love him because he is my father, but there's a sense of me that I feel is just kind of scared of him. You know, maybe not necessarily anymore because I am an adult. I'm married. I'm 34 years old. But then again, he always, you know, yelled at me, and I was just so defenseless, and I was so innocent. And he was so scary, and I don't think that I could ever, you know, forget that. And I guess that's always in the back of my mind when I see him or I talk to him. And I mean, I don't keep him up to date with every aspect of my life because I don't feel like he deserves to know every aspect of my life because he wasn't a father that I wanted. He wasn't the kind of dad that I wanted to have. I wanted the type of dad that would go to my sporting events, like my friend's dad. I mean, he didn't do anything for me. And so my relationship with him now, I would describe as hesitant.
Hesitant. Explain to me what you mean by the word hesitant.
I don't want to tell him what I'm doing. I don't necessarily want to tell him, you know, what my children are doing or anything that has to do with my life because he doesn't care. He doesn't care about me and what has to go on with my life. He's never cared about me. There have been so many times where he has let me down in the past where it's just, I just can't believe that I've let him in so many times, and I continue to do so. He just gives me the feeling of, I guess, uneasiness, and I don't know, I feel like every time after I talk to him or I even maybe think about him, I get so restless at nighttime, you know, I have a hard time sleeping. He's just, I don't know, I feel like he's out for his own good and he doesn't care about me, and whenever we talk, it just, I don't know how to explain it.
So you said that you have difficulty sleeping. Tell me a little bit about that.
You know, I don't really know how to explain it. I have these dreams, I guess, and I get really sweaty, my legs get very restless, you know, I'm tossing and turning all night long, and I just can't stop. And this dream, I guess, it wakes me up, and, you know, even if I wake up in the middle of it and I'll go back to sleep, the dream will continue. It will pick up where it left off, and I don't know what to make of it.
Well, what is the dream? Can you explain it to me?
Well, I would say the year is mid-1500s, and, you know, I'm a poor peasant, and I'm working on the fields, and I guess I'm just struggling. I'm just raking my leaves. The picture of me raking the leaves comes into my head, and I'm just raking, and I'm getting so tired, and I want to be done. I want stop raking these leaves. And it's almost as if it's painful to do so. It just hurts. And so I finally muster up some courage and some gold, and I go to the king's palace, and I walk up there, and I tell him how hard I'm working, and you know how hard I'm trying, but no matter what I do, like, there is no end product. It's just exhausting for me. I need something else. I need to do something else, or I need help. And he is so angry at me because I tell him that I need some help and that what I'm doing is hard. And he's so furious with me that he condemns me to death, and I'm shackled, and I'm so afraid, and I'm just begging and pleading for my life. Please, please, I swear I'll go back to doing whatever it is you want me to do. Please, please, just do not let me die. Like, I don't want this. And no matter what I'm saying, it doesn't matter. I'm being led up a hill to the executioner. And I can just feel myself walking up, and as I'm walking up, it's just this feeling of hopelessness, like this is it, you know, like there's nothing left, and then it's done.
So there are a couple of things that you said about your dream that I would like to address. Hopelessness, number one, I would like to understand a little bit more about that. In your dream, you feel hopeless. Is there a time where you feel hopeless when you're not dreaming?
Yes. I feel as though literally everyone is working against me. My husband is sleeping with my friend. They obviously hate me. They rub it in my face. I mean, I feel so distraught. I feel like, you know, my coworkers, okay, I have a stapler on my desk, and I always leave it on the right side of my computer. Well, when I came back from the bathroom the other day, the stapler was moved, you know, a couple of inches to the right, you know, and I know there's this girl who walks by my cubicle 30 times a day, and I know she goes in there, and I know she messes with my things. I know she takes my things and she moves my things around. I mean, if that's not a reason to feel hopeless, I'm not sure what is. I mean, I feel as though everyone is against me. And I know that everyone is against me, so it's not just how I feel it, it's a fact that, you know, there is nothing going for me.
So I want to go back to this recurrent nightmare that you were explaining to me. How often is this nightmare that you have, and when did it begin?
I feel like I've had this nightmare for, God, as long as I can remember. And I mean, it's not every single night I don't have it, but then again, it's at least twice a week, once to twice a week, I would say.
So you were telling me about this nightmare. Can you think of a time maybe in your childhood where you felt the same way? You felt hopeless, like you were expressing to me, and tired.
Yes. I was always, afraid when I was younger, and I always felt as though, no matter what I did, no matter how hard I tried, someone was always going to be mad at me, and someone was always mad at me, and everyone hated me. My family hated me, with the exception of my mother. I'm just thinking, like, my family did not like anything about me. I'm thinking my dad, he wouldn't ever stop being angry. There's always something to bitch about and complain about, and his drinking just makes it so much worse, and it hurts. It hurts to always be on the defense with someone. It just hurts, and it hurts emotionally, and it hurts physically. Like, I just wish he could stop, and I just wish that I could forget how he made me feel. It just is it's never ending. There was this time where I came home from school and I was 10 minutes late, and he was so mad at me because I was supposed to watch my younger brother. And he was so mad. And I mean, I was 12 years old. Give me a break. The bus was late. The bus was late picking me up from school. So I got home late, and that wasn't enough for him. It wasn't enough that I told him and that I was sorry, and I didn't even mean to. I didn't even mean to be late, but I was. And when I went up to my room, he followed me, and he pushed me down on the bed, and he started choking me, and he told me that I should never be late again. I could never disobey him ever again, and he was just choking me, and I was thinking, Mom, where are you? Please help me, Mom. Where are you? Like, where was she? Why wasn't she helping me? Why didn't she leave him? I just...
Sounds like you have a lot of anger and hurt and a lot of emotions still about that day.
I just feel like I forgot all about it, because I cannot believe that someone who is supposed to like me and love me would ever do that to me. Why would someone do that to someone else? I don't understand. I'm just a little girl. I can't help it. I mean, do you get what I'm saying? Do you understand?
I understand.
Do you though? I don't think you do. Like, do you get it? I'm so afraid, and I'm so hurting, and I'm sitting there, and no one's coming to rescue me.
That is definitely a tough situation to be in, and I am sorry that you had to go through that and experience that. No one should. So, would you say as a child you felt unloved?
Yeah. I felt like nobody cared about me. If my mom really cared about me, why would she not leave my dad? And if my dad really cared about me, why would he, be so hateful towards me? And, my grandparents, I mean, they weren't around, so they obviously don't care about me. And my siblings, my older sister, she was the obvious favorite of the family. She's the shining star. She's great at school. She's great at sports. She's great at music. She is a triathlete. I mean, what's not to love about her? Susan is the model child, and my parents love her and do not like me. And same with my younger brother. I mean, he's the youngest of the family, and they spoil him, and they give him a lot of attention, and they just care about everything that has to do with him more than they cared about me. My teachers didn't even care about me. When I was sick from school in high school, I had a test one day, and I asked my teacher, Dr. Burr, could I please take this test, next week? And I am so sick. And he wouldn't let me, and I wasn't able to come to school, and I got a 0. Why would someone do that to me? I just don't understand why someone would do that to someone unless they obviously, have it out for that person. I still, to this day, nobody cares about what is happening to me. All they care about is themselves. And so how could I ever feel loved?
You use the phrase out for this person when describing your teachers, and is it that you feel a lot of times like people are out to get you?
Well, of course. I mean, can we revert back to my husband and my so-called friend who are sleeping together? I mean, they obviously know what they are doing. They're doing it just to spite me, and they're rubbing it in my face. They deny it and laugh to me in front of my face just to spite me. My coworkers, like I said earlier, they go in my cubicle, they mess up my things. Just people on the street give me dirty looks. Yes, to answer your question.
So, Reba, we have just a few minutes left in our session, and I wanted to see if there was anything else that you really wanted to focus on for today.
I guess there is, one other thing that's really eating at me. You know how I work in the marketing department for Old Navy? Well, there was a promotion this past week, and I was certain I was going to get it. I was completely qualified. I met every single requirement that was needed by the company, and they chose someone else over me who is not as qualified for me. The boss just did it because, I don't know, he doesn't like me. I guess, the other week he came up to me and told me that I needed to change my technique on folding my clothes and hanging up displays when we were doing the display in the evening time. And, I just know he has it out for me. He always criticizes everything I do, and he didn't want to give the position to me. The girl who got the position ahead of me just graduated from college. This is her first real job, and she is above me in the company already. I mean, she does not deserve that, and I do, and I should have gotten it. I don't understand why the company didn't give it to me. I mean, it just frustrates me. Do they not understand how much money I could be, saving them and helping them? They just don't understand. They give it to some ditzy blonde girl who is straight out of college, cute, wears her tight jeans and her tight pants. She looks good for the company, so therefore they hire her. Does it matter if she has any qualifications? No, it doesn't. All that matters is that she's cute and she looks good for the company. That's all that matters. I deserve the job, and it's just completely unfair.
Tell me, you said that you felt he was telling you how to fold things and how to do the displays, and how do you feel when someone tells you how to do something?
I feel like I already know what I'm doing. I know exactly what I'm doing. There is no need for someone to tell me what to do. It frustrates me because I want to do it my own way. And it's not like I was doing it wrong. It looked good. I wasn't doing anything wrong at all. I was just doing it, it just frustrates me because he thinks he knows everything and he doesn't. And I know exactly what I'm doing, and when he tells me what to do, it really pisses me off.
I definitely can understand why, if you feel like you're being maybe controlled, or if you feel like someone's telling you how to do something, I can feel your frustration and your emotion in that, and that is definitely something that we will continue to discuss in our next session. We are now out of time, and we'll continue discussing these emotions and past experiences in our next session.